Hi everyone, good morning and welcome to the Choose Lincoln Clearing Open Day. My name's Ellie Sample, I'm one of your Live Lounge hosts today, and with me is...
I'm Emma Jubbs. So good morning and welcome to the University of Lincoln.
Hi Emma, really good to see you. How are you today?
I'm really good, really good. It's a bit duller in Lincoln today, unfortunately, but it's dry, so that's good.
Yeah. It is. It has been really sunny up to now, but it looks like you're inside on our fabulous Brayford Pool campus. Can you tell us where you are today, Emma?
I absolutely am. So I am on campus at the Brayford campus in Lincoln today, and I am in the Isaac Newton Lecture Theatre. This is our largest lecture theatre on campus. So it's on a normal open day, we would seat 550 of you into this lecture theatre right behind me. Unfortunately, given the circumstances, we can't actually accept you on campus today. So that's why I'm here giving you as live as an experience as we possibly can this morning.
And thanks for that, Emma. And yes, if it was a live open day and you were on campus with us, we would be having breakfast right now in the atrium of the Isaac Newton building, which is fabulous. And it's called Isaac Newton after one of Lincoln's favourite sons, I understand, Emma.
Absolutely, yes. Isaac Newton himself originated from Grantham in Lincolnshire. So, real Lincolnshire roots around a lot of the names of our buildings actually on campus, which is quite interesting. So a bit of history, even if you're not coming to do history.
And we have a graft of the Isaac Newton apple tree right outside of the Isaac Newton building. So you can actually see the apples that fell on Isaac Newton's head, I understand, just outside. So I'm on campus as well, Emma. I'm actually in the VC's office. I've done a bit of a Vice Chancellor office takeover. And the reason I've done that is because behind me, you can see the wonderful skyline of Lincoln. You can see our amazing castle and cathedral, which is up in the Belgate area. It's a really beautiful area of Lincoln. I always say it's a bit like Middle Earth. Although Wes Nelson, when he did his live lounge here the other day, he said it was like Hogwarts, and it is a beautiful place to be. Lincoln is a really beautiful city, and it's a really friendly city. You can also see some of our student accommodation behind me, the Brayford Quays. Everything is really close. I suppose that's a key thing, Emma, isn't it?
It absolutely is. I always think actually Lincoln is quite unique. So we are a city, but a very small city, which means that you don't ever have to get onto public transport. You seriously don't. Even the laziest people, and I am one of those, you can genuinely walk from where I'm sat now up to the castle and the cathedral within probably 20 minutes. It does mean walking up quite a steep hill, aptly named Steep Hill, but it genuinely, you can walk up there in about 20 minutes. And that's probably the length of the main centre of Lincoln, which is great, and great that we are in the city centre.
Yes, we're quite unique in that respect. We're a university campus right in the heart of the city, and we have a very large campus. It's a really big space, which is really good news because we're getting ready for welcoming all of you here in October and for the autumn start, and you starting your next adventure with us here. And we're getting really excited. We're putting up 2 TPs at the moment. That's right, isn't it?
That's right, yeah. So, it's really important to say congratulations to anybody that received their A-levels yesterday. Really, really well done. And I'm sure it's been a really challenging year to get to yesterday, but I bet this morning you're actually feeling a little bit relieved and now ready for the next step. The next step, obviously, being starting university. And we are, in all of the chaos that the world has seen, we've been working really hard behind the scenes to get everything ready for you to come. One of those things is 2 TPs on campus. It's going to be quite exciting, Ellie, isn't it? We're going to have a bit of an autumn with a Scandinavian feel, I think. So we're going to have TPs and food outlets working within those TPs so that we've got lots of outdoor space so you can have some sort of social interaction with your new fellow students.
Yeah, we're going to an outdoor culture, and it's really exciting. We want there to be lots of face-to-face interactions, lots of opportunities within the government guidelines at the time, but we're moving towards outdoor exercise classes, outdoor cinemas. We're going to have hot chocolate. It's going to be really nice. And I see we've got our first question, which is super. And I should have mentioned, please do ask us questions as we go today. So Kerry Gascoigne has asked us a question. Hi, Kerry. Really nice to see you. Thanks for getting in touch. So Kerry said, what is parking like at the university, please? Emma, I'm going to let you answer that one if that's okay.
Absolutely, yes. So as myself and Ellie have just sort of mentioned, we are in the centre, and of course, whilst being in the centre, that adds added challenges for parking. So we have very, very limited parking, and we have actually no student parking on campus during the daytime. So sort of until 4:30, our car parks are not open to students, but between 4:30 and 3 a.m, which seems an odd time, but as we go and meet Marvin in the library, that'll probably become more apparent. Then students can park on campus, and there is some parking in the evenings for students. But there's lots. The beauty is that actually we are 5-minute walk from the train station. The bus station is probably about a 3-minute walk to campus, to be fair. And you can walk around the campus very easily. There's lots of pay and display car parks within the vicinity of the centre. So you would not necessarily need to park actually on campus, but there is parking available in the sort of surrounding area.
And I'm really sorry, but almost as if to illustrate some of your points there, a duck just landed outside the office and started quacking quite loudly. So if you could hear that, I'm really sorry. We do have a lot of wildlife around here. We've got lots of swans in the Brayford behind us, and swans are a bit of a symbol of the University of Lincoln, and also ducks as well. So apologies if he comes back or she comes back. We will be moving on. But we've got a really action-packed day for you. It's not just me and Emma, you'll be delighted to hear. So, Ems, do you want to talk us through what's going to happen today?
Absolutely, yes, and that's really what you want to know. If you have, and hopefully you've got your offer from us yesterday. If not, just to highlight that our phone lines are open from 9 until 5 today. So please ring. Go straight to our website to get all of the information that you need. The website, lincoln.ac.uk, has the most up-to-date information that you require. Today is all about finding out a little bit more about the campus, really, and a little bit more about your course. So during the sort of 2 hours that we're live, we are going to move to the accommodation manager, Ben Ball, and he's going to tell you about the next steps and what you need to do and what the typical accommodation at the University of Lincoln is like. We've then got a couple of alumni students that are with us, and they're located also on campus with us today. So we've got Chi-Chi, who is an alumni student from an MA in journalism, and she also did her undergraduate degree in media production. So a real good mix from anybody that's looking for any of the arts programs. And we've got Marvin, who is located in the library. So Marvin's going to tell us all about the library setup, what's there. And Marvin is one of our business and management students. So a very different experience to Chi-Chi's.
That's great. Yeah. And there's also the opportunity to book a face-to-face with any of our academics or professional services staff, so admissions as well. And I'll be talking to the student leaders later on, so getting the real insight into what it's like to be a student. And just picking up on two of Emma's points there, if you want to ring us, you can ring us on our clearing helpline, which is 0808 164 4444. That's 0808 164 4444. Or if you do go onto the website, follow the Get Ready for Lincoln section on the homepage, and that will help you with everything you need to know to start with us this year. Now, we've got a really good question here from Giorgio. Hi, Giorgio, really nice to meet you. Emma, Giorgio says, how far away will the outdoor common rooms be from the campus? And that's a really good question, so I'll let you answer that one.
Very good question. And the beauty is they will be on campus. So we're not expecting any student to leave campus. You know, everything will be on campus. So everything that we create in this new outdoor world and sort of virtual world will be on campus. And the student leaders shortly we'll be able to explain some of the things that the SU have got lined up for you, some of the plans that they've got in place, but everything will be on campus. So these outdoor cinemas, these outdoor common rooms will be on campus. So very, very exciting.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's really good. And there'll be lots of face-to-face indoors as well with teaching going on. Now, it's time for us to go live to the very wonderful Michael Ball, who's our Head of Accommodation Services and who has given us some really key time. This is a really busy time for him. And Emma, please, will you introduce us to Ben and welcome him to the live lounge?
Hi, Ben.
Hello, Emma.
Hi, Ben.
Welcome to our live lounge of our Choose Lincoln Open Day. Lovely to see you. Firstly, we really appreciate your time because we know that this is a really extremely busy couple of days and a very busy weekend after yesterday. Can you tell us where you are located on campus?
Well, you're fortunate to be in one of the big lecture theatres. I'm in one of our accommodations. So you can see there's some cookers and things, and some of our students have just recently departed. So I'm in the Signet Wharf building, our accommodation, which has 442 bedrooms, all en suite, and big kitchen here, which you can see partially from behind me. But I'm sat at the breakfast bar here. There are 10 rooms in this apartment, as I say, all en suite. And the breakfast bar social area goes down really well for lots of our students. A very popular choice. There are a few options available for application coming through as we go. But yes, we're busy, but we're busy because we want to support everybody, and we stay through every day to make sure we've cleared out all of our communications. So if anybody's got any questions for us, just keep them coming in.
So the key message today is sort of keep asking you questions, but just be patient because you will get to them. Is that right, Ben?
Yes, so people will have gone through, whether they're going through the offer process or whether they're going to just look and check. We've got the website, which has the university, the main web pages. We have an information site, which is accommodation.lincoln.ac.uk. But most importantly, if you have any questions, email us accommodation@lincoln.ac.uk, and the team will then be able to move you on to any other resources, be able to talk about availability, the process. So if you're coming in through clearing, you have to refer yourself through UCAS track, admissions process. So I do block drains, not admissions. But as you refer yourself to this great thing called UCAS track, the university then updates your record. 24 hours after you've referred yourself to the University of Lincoln, you would get an update from our application portal, which will tell you that you can then apply for accommodation. You'll be asked to make a range of choices and then submit your application, and we will look at availability and try and process them as quickly as we can.
That's amazing. So you've mentioned that you're in Signet Wharf, which is obviously our university-owned accommodation on campus. Is that a typical sort of kitchen setup at Lincoln? Does that look, is this a normal sort of setup for the accommodation that we would have?
Well, you mentioned earlier on that we're in the middle of a city, a very historic city, but we're not. We're in the middle of a city, and finding new locations is difficult. And we have a lot of new locations coming on board. So the majority of all rooms that we have in Lincoln are en suite. That goes down very well with lots of people, but there are non-en suite and value options available as well. So we're trying to fit a wide range of choices. Everywhere will have a shared kitchen, generally, other than the studio apartments, which have their own kitchen. And that will range can go from 2 to 8, in some cases 23 at Viking House. Students, if you like to have a very big social group that is meant to be about learning to arrive at university and going through a lot of the same experiences. So not lots, some people prefer to be with smaller groups, some people prefer to be with larger groups. And we're trying to have something available that fits every taste and covers a wide range of budgets so that people have got a good choice of options available.
And have we still got options of accommodation available? That, you know, people that are viewing today, there will be a chance to be able to get accommodation.
Yes, there are the clearing application form, which comes along with a guarantee. If you make an application by midnight on Wednesday the 19th, I think it is, then you will be guaranteed a whole of residence style accommodation. And so our application form is open right now for those clearing applicants to come through, and they will see a wide range of choices. Now, that could fluctuate as applications start to come through, because at the same time, our people who came through yesterday and were confirmed are received their offers yesterday for accommodation, and they will be accepting them. So we will have a weekend, and that's one of the reasons why we're a bit busy, because we're trying to help all of our new clearing applicants, and we're trying to help all of our firm applicants who were there ready and waiting yesterday morning. So if you can give us a little bit of patience, there's a movement of information of acceptances. People might decide to change their choice, defer, and new applications coming in, then pick up that as well. So sometimes there are increases to options on the application form, and it can change as it goes through the days coming forward.
Emma, can I just pop in then, because we've got some questions coming in. And firstly, a big hello to Lizzie Donaldson and Sandra Donaldson. And we've got a question that Ben can probably answer, which is from Laura Taylor. So hi, Laura, and thanks for joining us. When is enrolment, Ben?
As I understand it, formal enrolment will happen through the start of the year on the 12th of October. However, where there'll be a lot of work that you will be able to do online with the admission service, the service called Blackboard, where you will register, you will update a number of things and confirmations, so that hopefully, especially for students in university managed accommodation, when you arrive, we will also give you your university ID card. So that's a little bit of a thing about social distancing that we can do. We can do two things in one. We can give you a room key, and we can give you a university ID card at the same time. So that's all.
Because you're brilliant, Ben, as ever, always thinking around the problems.
Fabulous.
Yes. Does that help?
Yeah, it does. It does. I'm going to pick up two other questions that have come in, both the same. So where people are saying that their UCAS account hasn't been changed or updated. So hi, Hayley, and hi, Yasmin. And rather than try and answer them here, I'm going to ask our social media team to make contact with those students and just try and help them. I'm hoping that Ryan and Darren are watching and that someone will get in touch. So Laura, thank you, and a big thanks to Ben. And I'll hand back to you, Emma. So,
Could I just
sorry.
Can I just come in over there? There is a general question which might help some people. So there will be some people who were waiting for results yesterday, and there was an awful lot of whatever was in the press that I haven't had time to see because we were here early and left late, all that kind of thing. But if you made an application prior to our guarantee period up to the 30th of June, and you're still waiting for some confirmation on results, your application will be frozen. And it stays within that order until we know what's happening through the admission service, through UCAS. So there is a bit of a holding pattern for those people who made that application early to us. So it isn't sort of, if there was any issue with your results information yesterday, then that's just held at the moment while we do some checks and balances and await for some updates.
This is why Ben is so brilliant, just because he knows the answer to everything. But I don't know if you can see, Ben, there's a specific question come through from Sandra Donaldson, which is, does the accommodation come with ensuite in the halls, or is there alternative? I know you've already sort of mentioned this, but be handy if you just go over that again.
We have options to apply for in every style of accommodation, from non-ensuite shared apartments, ensuite shared apartments, studio rooms in apartment settings, and some one-bedroom apartments in particular. They're actually at the top of the pricing range, but that is there. So there is a wide range for every choice. Looking at Paige's question there, just because I know you'll be thinking of moving on to another information resource. It depends on which building you are ultimately allocated, but our main intake weekend is planned to be the 9th, 10th and 11th of October.
Which is really exciting, isn't it, Emma?
Very exciting. Yeah, it is very exciting. Now, just as a final question, I think, just so that we can then move on to speak to Chi-Chi in the Sports Centre, I just think, is there a couple of top tips that if you were a parent or a student today watching this, what would you give them about your accommodation, Ben?
Have a good read through all of the options. So here I am on campus in Cygnet Wharf, right in the centre of Cygnet Wharf. I can go for a quick walk past a number of academic buildings, past a McDonald's, past a Morrison's, 10, 12 minutes, and I'm at Valentine Court. All of our accommodation is close by. It may be called off campus, but 10, 12 minutes walk past a whole range of services. To your right would be the library, across would be where you are at the Isaac Newton building, then you'd come over bridge to Cygnet Wharf. Behind me, 2 minutes away, is Viking House. So look at the whole range of options. If you've got any questions before applying, email us and ask us. However small, however odd you might find the question, we've probably had it before usually. We still do get some new ones from time to time, but ask us before you make your application. There will be a point where some accommodations become full, but we do think we've got a wide range in a good spread of locations that are all very close to the university.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Thanks. I hope what you're getting from this, from both Ben and Emma, and hopefully from me as well, is that Lincoln is a very, very friendly city, and it will come as no surprise that we were voted as the friendliest city in the UK a couple of years back, and I think that sums it up. And Ben, your favourite thing to do in Lincoln? My
favourite thing to do is to walk around the Brayford Pool. And so it's a great lunchtime event that I can set off from Cygnet Wharf, walk all the way around the Brayford Pool and come back to Cygnet Wharf. And it's just a really pleasant area to be in.
And that is really apt, actually, because I just got a message from one of our students, Bailey, who wanted me to tell everyone that she's just spotted otters by the Tower Bar, which is just outside where I am. But otters running about, how good is that?
Wow, fantastic.
I know. We better say goodbye to Ben. Always love seeing you, Ben, and we will catch up with you later on. But yes, really nice. Yes, don't move. Stay in that kitchen. You can make a coffee, grab a cup of tea, but don't go anywhere. We will come back to you. So massive thank you, and bye-bye, Ben. We'll see you later on.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. See you later. Oh, we're moving over to see Chi-Chi now in the Sports Centre, Ellie.
That's exactly right. I'm hoping that Chi-Chi is going to be there and show us our amazing Sports Centre. Chi-Chi, hi, how are you?
Hi, Ellie. Hi, Emma. Thank you. Well, I'm great. Thank you. I'm today at our lovely Sports Centre, as you can read in the background. I am at the reception area at our Sports Centre. And to my left, there is the entrance where students can walk through when they want to do any activities or visit our fitness studio. And to my right, there is the entrance with our doors and also the outside pit that we've got. So we don't only have inside halls where students can play sports and do any activities they would like to with their societies. We've also got a lovely outdoor pit where you can, in summer, but also in autumn or winter, when the weather plays along, play sports and do any activities that the societies offer them. So it's amazing.
No, that's brilliant. You do make it sound really exciting, Chi-Chi, but I'd like to explain one of the reasons you're with us is because you're one of our alumni. Isn't that right?
Exactly. So I did my undergraduate and my postgraduate studies here at the University of Lincoln. It was the best decision that I could have made. I had a lovely student experience. I couldn't have had a better student life if I wanted to, and if I had tried harder.
And I know we're really proud that we're a top 20 university. We do make a lot of it. We're gold rated. We're 5-star. There's a lot of good things. But one of the things we say a lot about the University of Lincoln is that students are at the heart of everything that we do. And you've just said that as well. And we perform very well in the National Student Survey. So what do you think is so good about being a student at Lincoln, Chi-Chi?
Well, I absolutely agree. As you said, students are at heart by anything in Lincoln. So it's such a lovely city. Everything is just designed around students, and I honestly can't complain about anything that students don't get offered. You never run out of things in Lincoln to do. So I do believe that the contrast that Lincoln as a city has, as a student-focused city, let me put it that way, is amazing. So if you walk up the steep hill, you've got a lovely historic area where there is so much to explore, from the cathedral to the castle, anything. But if you walk down the hill, yeah, exactly behind you, Ellie, as I can see, and as everyone who is right today joined us can see as well. So it's amazing. And yeah, if you walk down the steep hill, there is the more modern part of the city. We've got lots of restaurants where students also get all year round, basically, student discounts if they eat out, drink out, do anything, go to the cinema. There is so much to do.
It is interesting, Chichi. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it's worth saying that 1 in 5 people who live in Lincoln is actually a student. So it is a really student-focused city, and it's a very supportive city of the university, and we do work hand in hand on a lot of things. The local company Siemens is part of our engineering school, and which is really good for students. I mean, we've got some great relationships with national companies. We work jointly with The Guardian, and we offer joint programs, and we work jointly with Thomson Reuters Foundation and lots of other companies. But locally, we really have that community relationship, and we get involved in all sorts of community activities. But I know that you remember quite a few sports clubs and societies. So what was that like, Gigi?
Well, when I was a student at the University of Lincoln, during my times here, I spent lots of time at the sports center myself. So I played for the University of Lincoln Sports Volleyball Society. I played in the Bucks team, so you can also play competitively if you want it. So you can go to other universities, play against other universities. You can help the university basically get better in the league, and also learn, you get to know other people while you're in a team and in a society. But you don't have to have that competitive aspect. So the societies also offer just social training, so where you just try to improve your skills and just get to know people and play with people. And
it's so important. And I'm going to interrupt you because Alex Gallagher has asked a really good question. When can we join stuff like sports teams? And I'm actually going to ask Emma to answer that one, if that's all right, Emma.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. And obviously, as we move across to the sports leaders, they will sort of probably correct me or probably give a little bit more detail. But Alex, the key thing really is get involved in those sports teams during that first week. So the first week of sort of online sort of welcome week as such, which we're calling our online orientation week, that's when you need to sort of get involved with the virtual sort of sports teams, and they've got all sorts of online activities that are involved with that.
There will be 3 freshers fairs, which isn't that easy to say actually when you're being stared at. But no, there are 3 freshers fairs where you can actually join all of those sports and societies. And I'm going to pick up Paige's question there. Hi, Paige, really nice to see you. Thank you for coming. You're wondering what's near the Gateway studio where you're going to be staying, and you're asking what's accessible. I mean, it's really great because the campus is all very close. And I'm actually going to ask Emma and then Chi-Chi to answer that. But Emma, if you don't mind saying what's near the Gateway for Paige.
The closest from us 3 to the Gateway would be Chi-Chi, actually. So the sports centre is that side of the campus. I'm sort of totally the opposite side of the campus. Literally right next to the Gateway, you're sort of situated between a Holiday Inn Express and a McDonald's almost. Morrison's is probably a 2-minute walk away from you. And then there's a little sort of retail outlet, which is probably 5 minutes walk away with TK Maxx and Next and Asda and things like that. So there's lots and lots. But the key point is that I would say from the Gateway, you are probably about 2 minutes away from the actual campus, if that. I see that you've got another question. Now, what I would, rather than us answer that question, what I'm going to point you to do is go onto our Slido chat. So go onto the online chat where a member of the wellbeing team, Adam, is there today to answer any questions regarding sort of any disabilities, any wellbeing issues, anything at all, anything about the transition to university. Our wellbeing team are there to be able to answer those questions for you today. So rather than us answer that, because you might have personal questions, then you're in a confidential sort of situation to be able to answer those questions for you today. Sorry.
But the short answer is yes, the Sound and Music Studios are very close to the gateway. I think it's probably a 5-minute walk, I would say. And I don't think I walk particularly fast. And Ellie, my namesake, will the Freshers' Fair be done during the online orientation week? Well, let's check that with the student leaders when we meet them, because there are 3 separate Freshers' Fairs, so they can give us the specific dates. So Emma will remind me to ask the student leaders that when we get there. Chi-Chi, did you want to add anything to Emma's answer?
I think Emma's covered everything really, but what I'd like to add on is no one should worry about how long they have to walk at the University of Lincoln campus and from the accommodations, because it's not going to be a longer walk than 10 to 15 minutes, and everything is, and I'm genuinely saying this, not longer than 10 minutes walk away from you and from your accommodation. Maximum would be 15 minutes, and I do really stand by that. So everything, every accommodation, any facilities that we got, any lecture halls that you will be attending to, everything is just in walking distance. And by walking distance, honestly, it's just 10 to 15 minutes. And usually it will be 5 minutes. So you will be surprised how together everything is, but it still seems such a big city, and it is. But
that's great. We're running out of time. I know that you, like me, could talk about how wonderful Lincoln is all day, but just finally, before we leave you, and we will be coming back to you later in the program, but finally, before we leave you, what is your favorite thing to do in Lincoln?
My favorite thing to do in Lincoln, oh God, I don't know where to start, Ellie. Honestly, there is so much to do. There is something for everyone. I never got bored, and I still in these 4 years haven't done everything that I wanted to do in Lincoln. But I think one of the most favorite things that I've got is just, even if it's a city, you just walk half an hour, 40 minutes, and you are at a lovely park with lakes. So if you wanted to switch off, if you're stressed, if you just want to go on a lovely walk, you don't have to go on a public transport. You don't have to take the train. You just walk a little bit and you can bond with the nature, which is amazing. So you've got both. You've got the city life and you've got the nature just right in front of you. And that's amazing about Lincoln.
I think that's very true. Although I have to admit, I'm very excited about there being otters outside the Tower Bar, and which is one of the student union bars. And I'm going to be going there directly after we finish today and having a look. But we'd better say goodbye. It's always lovely to see you, Chi-Chi. Thank you for coming in, and we will talk to you again later.
Thank you both. Thank you. Lovely to see you both. Thank you.
See you later.
Thank you. And I guess it's a good time to remind people to send us their questions on the side. And a huge thank you to Mark and to Darren for answering some of the questions that are coming through. So thank you very much. Emma, remind us who we're talking to next.
So next we're going over to Marvin, who's also one of our alumni. Marvin is also a member of staff at the university, so that's amazing, and had a probably a slightly different journey to Chi-Chi, I would guess, coming to the university. So we're going to ask him some questions. Hiya.
Hi, Marvin.
Guys.
Welcome to see you.
I'm here at the library. Sorry?
Tell us where you are today.
Okay, I am here at the University Lincoln Library. It is an absolutely brilliant place. It's 4 award-winning floors, and the floors cover everything and everyone's needs, really, from the individual spaces where you can really sink your teeth into whatever you're studying, to the group spaces and the ICT suites where you can really come together and bring, life to whatever projects you're working on. From Macs to PCs to laptops that you can loan out, that you could kind of take wherever, because, we've got Wi-Fi covering the entire campus, which is really great, because no matter where you are, you can kind of, get access, and you can even on your phone and other mobiles and other kind of devices that you may have. You can kind of sit anywhere and work on whatever you want to work on. And at during exam periods, the university library is open 24/7, and and all this all the support is there. But it was essential while I basically lived here during some of these periods.
Did you leave your deadlines to the last minute, Marvin?
Sorry?
Did you leave some of your deadlines to the last minute?
God, never. I was very prepared. No.
Where you came from, because I'm obviously a very Lincoln girl, but I'm guessing that you're not from Lincoln. And so tell us where you came and what was your journey. And
I came from down south. So I'm actually from down south. Down Essex, Colchester, whoop, whoop. And
Colchester watching today.
And I decided to come up here because it was just brilliant. It had everything I wanted, but with London nearby, which is a big city, it was a bit much. Whereas here, it's a big city, but it's not, because you can also do everything. It fits everything. But you can also have that kind of calm, peace, and quiet so nearby. And also, you don't need to use public transit, like everyone said, which was wonderful. But what was, I think, best about this is, well, I mentioned that this place is 24/7, and I was basically living here. And there were some people work better at different times, and my prime time was around 2 a.m. Whereas some people came in, and some of my friends would be coming into library as I was leaving. But with McDonald's and all that, just 5 minutes
Your
away.
mom's watching, Marvin. She'll be cross.
It was absolutely brilliant. But also the library has subject specialist librarians as well available. If you couldn't find someone doing your assignment, which you'd be hard pressed not to, in the library to really come together and help you, you can also get the support here from them. But yeah, this place was life.
So remind us, Marvin, and then we'll just go to a couple of questions, because I can see, Alana, you've asked a question, but I'm just going to ask we know that Chi did media production and journalism. What course did you study?
I studied business and management. And I loved it as an undergrad, and I loved every minute of it, because it was inspirational, and the opportunities as an entrepreneur were really there. But Siemens, also right next door, there was just so many different things and available, and I met so many people that really opened my eyes to what can be done, and so many people with such drive. It was amazing. But yeah,
really good teaching staff then that inspired you.
Yeah, the teaching staff were brilliant.
I think we have amazing results from our NSS surveys that absolutely duplicate what you're saying. Is it time to have a question, Ellie?
Yeah, I think. Do you mind if we say a quick hi to Gulam? Sorry, Emma. I just want to say a quick hi to Gulam and let you answer Alana's question. Hi, Alana Jones. When will we receive our timetables? Emma, I'll hand that one to you.
Yeah, I think it's key to sort of say, actually, we are setting up a getting started webpage, which Ellie probably knows a little bit more about than me, but that's where you need to go. Our timetables won't be yet, so don't panic just yet. I think it's really, really key that today to sort of reassure everybody that there is going to be a real mix of teaching this next year. So there will be some online and there will be some face-to-face. I think you may already in the last half an hour have got the grasp that everything that we do at Lincoln is the student is at the heart of it. And, you know, me and you, Ellie and Marvin, we're all leaving our offices to free our office space up for teaching so that you will have some face-to-face teaching, but your timetables won't come out just yet. Look out for it probably in about a month's time, I would say, but it'll be on that Getting Started webpage, and that will tell you everything that you need to know.
No, that's true. And Giorgio said, are we happy with how Lincoln is handling COVID-19? I think we've been really, really lucky in in terms of COVID in Lincolnshire, in terms of the number of instances have been quite low. At the university, we've been planning for the last 6 months for autumn and making sure that we will work within government guidelines and that we will make sure there's face-to-face activities in terms of both social and teaching. So we're adapting to the new normal, we're learning, and I think as a result, we're doing things much, much better. We're finding new ways of engaging, some of which is online, but we're making sure that there's lots of face-to-face activity as well, and working within bubbles, within accommodation and teaching, and making sure there's appropriate PPE. So I'm really pleased with how we're handling it as a university, and it's been key. And Grace is asking, will we be allowed friends around our accommodation? A lot of that will depend on government guidance at the time, Grace. We are changing how we approach all of these things. What we can say, Emma was talking earlier about the teepees that are going to be outside, and we're going to have lots more outdoor space as well as the indoor space that we've got. So you'll be able to mix and meet up, and there'll be groups, and you can meet your clubs and societies or go out with flatmates or meet other people. Emma, I don't know if you'd like to add to that.
No, absolutely. I think what we are as the country is doing, we're ever changing, and what we will absolutely reassure you, Grace, is, and any parents watching, is that we will adhere to any sort of government guidelines at the time, and we are absolutely adapting to any of the changes that we need to do. So we can't answer that, unfortunately, Grace, as it is, because by the time we come to the weekend of the 10th, 11th of October and beyond, that might change. So we will be governed by guidelines as ever.
But we adapt very quickly. I mean, the one thing I do really want to ask Marvin before we go, because Marvin had quite an exciting day on Wednesday. Marvin, would you like to tell everyone who you interviewed and tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, so when I talk about opportunities, there being no end, I got to speak to none other than Love Island's Wes Nelson. And sometimes you see people and on TV, and you're like, they can't be like that in person. But the man really is as good as gold. He's really funny, and would love to meet him, really, because he made it. He really made the interview amazing, and really spoke for us, and he's such a good guy. You just don't expect it sometimes.
What's inspirational? I do believe he will be British Newcomer of the Year, don't you, at the Music Awards? He was so inspirational. Just what a guy. Sorry, Marvin, we better move on. Before we move on, favourite memory of Lincoln?
Oh, favourite memory of Lincoln has got to be all the places you can eat. I can't make a list of places you can eat, and I can't even. Some of the restaurants here really, they drive me crazy. And yeah, they know me by name now, because. But yeah,
everyone knows you by name.
There is, can I just pick up, Marvin, just before you go, there is a question here from Wendy about accommodation in the emails. Can we sort of move, sorry, Wendy, we're not ignoring you, but we'll ask Ben that question when we go back to him in a few minutes, if that's okay.
That's great. And equally, there's a question from Mia and about whether or not we'll have placements. And of course, that will depend very much on government guidance at that time, hopefully, but we'll see what happens at that time, Mia. So we'll see where we are. Now we're going to say goodbye, Marvin. So thank you so much for joining us. Lovely to see you. We will join you again in around about 40-50 minutes and say goodbye. Bye, Marvin. And Emma, who are we going to now?
So we are going over to the Otters. No, we're not. We're going to the Tower Bar and see our student leaders. So we're going over to the Students' Union and we're going to meet with Bailey and also Lucy, and they will tell you what their new roles are and tell you everything else that they've got planned for the autumn. So hi, Lucy and Bailey.
Hi. Hi. Tell us what's going on then, Bailey. Let's start with you.
Over at the Students' Union, each year 5 students, now ex-students, they get elected to run your Students' Union. So that is what myself and Lucy are doing, along with 3 other of our fellow SABs. So I am Bailey, I'm the Vice President Campaigns and Environment, which means that I look after everything environmental, lead on projects at the SU and on campus for environmental stuff. And I also chair the Campaigns Network, which is a really good chance for anyone who wants to make change on campus and in the community to get involved in. It's where all the liberation officers sit. So that's your like LGBT plus officer, your BAME officer, all those liberation groups. So that's what I do.
That's really amazing. And Lucy, what about you?
Yeah, I'm Lucy. I'm the Vice President Wellbeing Community here at the University of Lincoln Students' Union. So I'm here to make sure that all students feel that the Students' Union supports them in their wellbeing, and also to ensure that we really emphasise that community aspect we have at Lincoln. So I work alongside our Advice Centre and the University of Lincoln Wellbeing Centre as well. And I chair the Wellbeing Network, which is brand new and just set up and is really, really exciting. And as Bailey said, obviously we have 3 other SABs. So we have Georgia, who is our Vice President Education, and she is there to represent students in all their academic interests. She works with Abby to do academic societies, and she also has a network of school reps and college reps, so we can work with the university to ensure that students are really getting the most out of their education.
We have Abby as well, so she is sports and societies. She's VPA, which means Vice President Activities. So yeah, she just looks after all of the sporting events that we put on and all the societies that you can get involved in when you come. And then there's also Amina, who's Vice President International, and she takes care of all the international students. She is an international, or she was an international student herself. We now have nabbed her, and she's now helping us run the Students' Union, looking after those international students. And she is in charge of the ISA, which is International Students Association, which all international students get automatically enrolled on when they come here. So it's a really good opportunity for them to get involved in Lincoln.
And you guys are amazing. You are so full of energy. You wear me out just talking to you. You're brilliant. But the big question that everybody wants an answer to is, how do they join clubs and societies this year, and what's going to be happening during Freshers?
Yeah.
Sorry, Lucy.
Clubs and societies, usually you'll be able to join at our reception or online. Obviously, we're being COVID secure, so you can join them all online. We have just about 200 clubs and societies. These are academic societies, sporting societies, and non-academic and non-sporting societies as well. We also have competitive teams, but obviously we're in line with COVID regulations and bucks at the moment. So you can join online at lincolnsu.com, and we're really happy and excited because all of our sports and societies this year, even with COVID regulations, are still going to be running, and we're working on moving virtual for the first semester to make sure everyone's safe.
We are hosting our Freshers Fairs.
That was my question, Bailey.
So we usually have a commercial fair, which is businesses around Lincoln come in to offer you guys discounts and things like that. It's quite good. And then we have the sports fair, and we have the societies fair as well. And then we have a campaigns fair. There's so many fairs going on, but they will all be virtual, and they will all be going live on our website. It will be like a virtual fair, which you can click around, which is really cool. They will be going live on the 1st of October. And then we're going to have specific days, which the presidents of the sports teams and the people behind the virtual stalls, they're actually going to be manning a Q&A thing. So all of that information will be going out on our website, and just make sure you look on our website essentially, and follow us on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, Lincoln SU accounts, and us subs as well. And we'll just keep you updated with all of that.
No, that's brilliant, Bailey. I mean, normally Freshers Week fortnight is a really big deal, and we've got the Engine Shed, which is a massive venue, and there'll be lots going on. Will there be any face-to-face activities? Will there be opportunities for people to meet and make friends?
We are hoping to use the space. We're not sure government guidelines wise what we're going to be able to do at that time. But if we can't use it for actual like events and gigs and club nights, which we usually use it for, I think we're going to turn it into more of like a calm social space for you to come and do work and meet up and get some food, and just as another sort of social space for students to use.
No, that sounds. Sorry, Lucy.
We're really working on our freshers plans at the moment. Also, we know it's different, and we make sure that we're within government guidelines. But we will have some exciting things to announce. So, as Bailey said, keep up to date with our pages, and you'll be able to see what we're getting up to.
No, the pages are really good. You do keep everyone informed, which is really helpful. And tell us a bit about why you chose Lincoln. Lucy, maybe start with you, and whether or not you've enjoyed it, what it's been like.
Yeah, so Lincoln was my first choice. I studied biomedical science here, and I was tossing up between 2 universities, but it sounds really cliche, but Lincoln just felt like home. And this is my 4th year here. I finished my undergrad study and I'm now a SAB, and I can see myself living here for the foreseeable future.
I chose Lincoln. I was umming and ahhing between 2 universities, but I put Lincoln as my first choice, basically because of the dance society. Like, I've always been a dancer, so I was like, I have to dance at uni, and it just has such a great reputation. So the SU was a massive part in that decision for me. And I got here and I got involved with dance, and I met Lucy actually on like the first week of dance, and then 3 years later we're running the SU together with our fellow SABs. So that seems a little bit crazy, but it gave me the chance to like compete against other unis, I think we went to the university championships this year. So just that, really, that's what got me involved, and I've loved every second of Lincoln.
It's funny, me and Emma talk a lot about, this. We're very aware that this is quite a scary time, and anyone coming through clearing, especially this year, they won't have actually been able to come here and meet us, which they normally would, and you'd be there with us, and we'd be welcoming everyone onto campus. What would your top tips be for anyone who's maybe a bit worried about moving away from home, coming to Lincoln? What would you say?
Personally, I was really worried about coming to uni 3 years ago. I was really nervous about it, and it's not really something that I was looking forward to because I was a bit anxious. But as soon as I got here, I signed straight up for sports and societies and got involved, and that would be my recommendation. Lonely, or you start thinking, oh, I wish I was having my mum's roast dinner right now, which is definitely something that went through my head quite a lot. But as long as you get involved with those extracurricular stuff, that makes your university experience, it really enriches it. So that would be my advice.
Lucy, what about you? Have you got any other tips for anyone coming through clearing, or anyone just getting ready to join us for their new adventure this autumn?
I would say that it's completely normal to be nervous. Like, you are not the only person that's nervous. Every single student that is turning up for their first day at university is incredibly nervous, and that's okay. For me as well, as Bailey said, sports and societies were fantastic, but also don't underestimate your housemates or your flatmates, whoever you end up living with. Like, it sounds cheesy again, but they do become your family. 2 people I live with in first year are still my best friends. Like, we live together, and they are fantastic. But if sports and societies aren't your thing, as Bailey said, we have campaigns network, we have volunteering opportunities, and there are ways to get involved that aren't as daunting as sports and societies can be. And we also have student staff roles, so you can work at one of our venues, and I did that in my 3rd year, and it was a fantastic experience with such a small, close-knit team, and I am still friends with all of them.
Do you know what, Lucy? This is really sad, but this is for the parents. But 30 years on, so I'm 30 years older than you, and those people I met in the first week of university are still some of my best friends today, and my closest friends. And the journey that I went on then was amazing. So I'm going to ask Emma, though. Emma, for any parents who may be watching and maybe a little bit worried or nervous, and what would your top tips and advice for parents be?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there will be some parents watching, and I think what my reassurance to parents would be that actually we've got everything in place at Lincoln, and as we've sort of said, we're very adaptable. So if there's anything that you're unsure about, or you feel that you're a little bit worried about your son or daughter, but you know that they won't highlight it, we have got it covered. We've got an excellent sort of wellbeing service that is there and can help you with that transition. And again, they're there online today, so you could sort of ask those questions now if there's something about the transition of coming to university that you're concerned about. But also the SU team are amazing. You never fail to sort of be there and be that student voice. So I genuinely think as a parent, I would be really reassured with Lincoln. We've got everything covered.
No, that's good. There's some really good questions coming up. Lindsay's asking which Facebook page to join. I'd say join Friends for Life, but Lucy, would you recommend a good Students' Union page for Lindsay to join?
Yeah, I would say that our main Lincoln Students' Union Facebook page is fantastic. It provides regular updates with everything we're getting on with. You'll be completely informed, and any events or any virtual events, you'll be able to find out about them there.
No, that's great. Chidera Rose, I can't wait for you to join either. Me and Emma are really looking forward to welcoming everyone, and I'm sure Bailey and Lucy are as well. This is such an exciting time for us. It's the high point of the year. We get really excited about everyone joining us, and it's a whole new cohort coming in to be part of our community. And we're very proud that we're one community. We support each other. We work very closely. I think that's quite true, isn't it, Bailey? It's a good place to be. It's very supportive. But actually, I'm going to pick up on Giorgio as well. Giorgio, if you're a musician and you're confident, please come and find me or Emma when you join, because we are going to be looking for musicians to play at some of these outdoor social areas that we're talking about. And if you're up for that, we definitely want you to be part of it. But Bailey, I'm going to ask you to give an appropriate Students' Union answer to Giorgio.
Yeah, so we do have music societies. We have quite a few, I think. There's a big band, I think there's a swing band, music production society, I think there's quite a few. But also, if there's a society that doesn't exist and you would like to create it, then you can just do that. You just have to have 3 of you that want to run a society, and then the SU will help you get it set up. I actually did that in my second year. I started my own society, Wildlife Conservation Society, because I love the animals and the otters outside. So that's what I did. So if there isn't one that's like directly specific to you, then just make one.
Yeah, I mean, we're really lucky because Chris Packham comes regularly. This is probably more for the parents than for the children. And he lectures on all of our animal welfare courses, and some of the students get to go to Spring Watch every year and get to go and be part of that, which is really exciting if you do that. Paige, super. Well, come and find Giorgio and me and Emma, and it looks like you're going to have a band, which is good. I'm going to ask Darren to answer your question, if that's all right, Darren, just because we're running a little bit short on time. So Lucy and Bailey, thank you so much for your time today. Before we go, can you just tell us what your favourite thing to do in Lincoln is?
My favourite thing to do in Lincoln is probably go visit the parks around Lincoln. So there's one that I go to quite a lot called West Common, which is near the West End, which is where a lot of students end up living in the 2nd and 3rd years in student houses, and that's really lovely. And there's horses, horses all over the common, and some football goals, cricket pitch. It's just a really lovely place to go and hang out, basically.
It is. And Lucy, what about you?
I'm quite similar. I really enjoy cycling and going on the walks around Lincoln, and it's really fantastic because you can walk or cycle for 10-15 minutes and you are in the countryside, and it's so nice to experience that on a weekend if you just want to get away and not think about your studies for a little bit.
No, that's true. Emma, what about outside of the city? What's your favourite thing to do outside of the city?
My favourite thing is just driving across to the coast. So the Lincolnshire coastline is sort of just an hour away from Lincoln, and actually we've talked about everything being very close, but actually an hour away we've got the sort of Lincolnshire coast, and whether you go in the summer, we've had some really boiling hot days over the last couple of weeks, so whether you go on in the summer, there's still some, because it's such a vast sort of coastline, there's always some really quiet areas as well. So there's the big towns, that sounds silly, but the towns like Skegness, Mablethorpe, that are busier, more commercial, but there's also sort of Gibraltar Point, Huttoft, Danterbury Creek, that are award-winning sort of coastline. I think the Guardian rated them one of the top 10 coastal walks this week. So incredible. And they are absolutely beautiful. I went a few weeks ago to see the sunset. It was absolutely incredible. And you literally are an hour away. So it is, the real mix of both bits within Lincolnshire.
Well, I really wanted to tell you, I went to Sutton-on-Sea, which is about an hour away, about 40 minutes an hour away last weekend. And I was swimming in the sea and a seal popped up right next to me. It really, really shocked me. I was like, oh my goodness. But of course, Donna Nook, there's about 1,000 seals, isn't there, at this time? Well, coming into November. Is that right, Bailey? You're nodding.
Yeah, I ran in the Wildlife Society. I ran a trip to Donna Nook and a bunch of us went, and there's literally a fence, and I just put my head over, and that was like a baby seal, and it was so white and fluffy, and it was just gorgeous. And they're literally everywhere, and it was a little bit gross, but we actually saw one be born like about 5 meters from us. One just like was born, and I was like, okay, cool, that's really amazing, but also a bit weird at the same time.
Yes, the wonder of life. No, well, you didn't expect that if you're watching. And I have to mention, because Simon Oliver, hi Simon, we're looking forward to you joining us. It's a wonderful place to be a student. If you want to join Lincoln to do computer science, please call our clearing and adjustment helpline 0808 164 4444. That's 0808 164 4444. And as per all the meetings that I normally run, we're now running over. So I'm going to say thank you very much, Lucy and Bailey. We'll be joining you again in around about 40, 50 minutes. So thank you very much for your time. Bye. Please stay there and we'll come and find you shortly. Thank you. Bye-bye. Oh, Emma, what a day. This has been amazing, hasn't it?
It really was, yeah. I think it's so nice to sort of see the students and listen to their experiences at Lincoln, and especially for those people that are watching that are unsure whether, maybe Lincoln might not have been on their agenda before yesterday, and life is changing, and it's just that nice, reassuring sort of situation. I think we need to remind everybody, Ellie, that academics are on hand today as well. So if people have got not only questions about the city, the campus, but really want to know about the programme and the course, then please go on to our website, book a one-to-one. You can either have sort of a meeting sort of virtually like this, or just speak to somebody on the phone, and an academic is there to speak to you. So please ask the questions.
That's a really good point. And to start from scratch, in case anyone's just joined us, my name's Ellie Sample, and I'm one of your Live Lounge hosts today. And with me is...
I'm Emma Jones, and I'm also one of your Live Lounge hosts today. And we're with you now until 12 o'clock live.
Exactly, we're with you live. We'll be answering your questions. I keep pointing in the wrong direction. We'll be answering your questions. So please post up, and we'll do our best to provide an answer. And if we don't know, we'll find out. What else is going on today, Emma? What else can people do with us today?
So in the next hour, we're going on a little virtual tour around our campus. So there's several of us sort of socially distanced located around the campus. We're going to visit accommodation. So Ben Ball, our accommodation manager, we're extremely grateful for him giving up a couple of hours this morning at one of his very busiest times of the year. We're going to meet a couple of our alumni, Chi and Marvin, and they're located in the Sports Centre and also the library. So they're going to explain a little bit what happens in there and what life is like there. And also our student leaders, who are amazing, Lucy and Bailey, who are the most loveliest girls ever, but really have sort of slightly different sort of journeys and sort of information about joining and starting university from the 1st of October with us at Lincoln.
No, and also look at the website that we are hopefully within. So this is the Choose Lincoln website, and within that, page is asking how to book a one-to-one. There should be a simple button beneath us. There's also the opportunity to talk to existing students on UniBuddy. There's also a Slido chat where you can talk to some of our admission staff and the other professional services staff and some of our inquiry staff. There should be an information zone where you can look around and watch some videos from some of our colleagues here at Lincoln, which will give you a bit of an insight. There's a 360-degree tour and some other video. I think there's interviews with Chris Packham, Wes Nelson, and Clara Amfo, the Radio 1 DJ. So some really interesting link-ups that we've done. Emma, anything else that I've forgotten?
No, I think it's a case of any question that you have, ask us. We have the answers, and however silly or however you might feel a little bit nervous about asking the questions, they're all confidential. So, please don't worry, and we can answer those questions. If you've got something that you are really unsure about, then ask us, because the chance is if you don't ask, somebody else also is wanting to ask as well. So however silly, we are here today to make sure that we're making your journey as easy as possible.
Yeah, and ask in the live feed, actually, because if you're thinking it, the probability is that probably hundreds of other people are thinking it, and there literally are thousands of people in the same position as you thinking about joining us for their next adventure this autumn, coming to the University of Lincoln. And me and Emma are incredibly excited. This is our favourite day of the year in terms of welcoming students to the University of Lincoln. For you, it might be a little bit scary, and you might be looking at Lincoln and you possibly got your results yesterday and it was different to what you expected. Either you did much better or things were just a little different, and now you're looking at coming to Lincoln, and we might be your first introduction to Lincoln. And I suppose, welcome. Thank you for thinking of us. And Lincoln's a really, really friendly city. We were voted the friendliest city in the UK, and I can vouch for that. Emma, what would you say to anyone who's a little bit nervous, who didn't know they were coming here, or who's just nervous about joining us this autumn?
I think in the next hour or so, you will find out that actually, as a student at the University of Lincoln, you are really the heart of everything that we do. Over the last few months, we've done a lot of adapting as everybody has, but we've gone sort of that step further. We've sort of adapted the campus so that we've got more space for students. We're going to have a couple of teepees on campus, so that we've got some outdoor space, so we can have some sort of socially distant, sort of outdoor Scandinavian feel catering outlets on campus. So we're actually incorporating and changing the areas that we have. So yeah, I don't think that any student should feel nervous about coming to Lincoln. It feels sort of, it is a city, it is a top, as you've sort of said, it's a top 20 university, but actually within and lots of people will tell you this today, everything is within sort of a 10-15 minute walk. Off campus accommodation is the cathedral that's behind you at the back there, Ellie. You're sort of looking at the cathedral and the castle. You can walk up that steep hill in 20 minutes. The train station, the bus station is sort of 5-minute walk. So everybody, there is no need to get onto a public transport unless you desperately need to.
And as you've indicated there, Emma, I'm actually in the Vice-Chancellor's office today, mainly because it's got this wonderful view and it gives you a really good idea for how close the University of Lincoln is to the city. And our campus is really right in the heart of the city. Brayford Pool is beautiful, it's right next to us. So if you like the water and if you like otters, this is the place to be, because we've got otters outside our Student Union Tower Bar today. We've also got lots of swans, and I had a duck sat here earlier quacking and taking over the show for a little bit. But it's a really wonderful place to be, and you can also see some of the accommodation. Brayford Quays is over there, and literally everything is a 10-minute walk. So that's where I am. But Emma, where are you?
As you can see, I'm inside a lecture theatre. So I am inside the Isaac Newton Building's lecture theatre. This is the largest lecture theatre that we have on campus. And it seats on a normal open day and in normal sort of lecture periods, this would seat 550 students or guests. As you can see, I'm sat here on my own today, but I'm located across the train station, the train line from where you're located, Ellie. So as I enter out of here, actually, when I open the automatic doors open, I look out and I can see McDonald's. But also, more excitingly, I can see the new medicine building. So the Lincoln Medical School building is being built. So it's sort of transformed since the last time I was actually on campus here. And so we've got, we are literally in the centre, but that's where I am this morning.
No, and the Isaac Newton building, named for Isaac Newton, one of Lincoln's most famous sons. But what I particularly love is we have a graft of the Isaac Newton apple tree from Worsthorpe Manor, where Isaac Newton lived and where the apple fell on his head. We have the very apple tree which is grafted and now is planted outside of the Isaac Newton building, which is really quite wonderful. And if you need some inspiration, something to go and look at and have a think about. Before we move on, Emma, we've got a question from Jackie Forbes. Hi, Jackie. Thanks for watching. I don't know if we need to refer Jackie to do a one-to-one potentially. She's asking, and you might know the answer to this, how will she flag that she needs a dyslexia test at enrolment if enrolment is online?
Hi, Jackie. What I would do is preempt that. So don't wait until the 1st of October. What I would do is go on to our chats now. So go on and speak to Wellbeing, and there's Adam there that's answering the questions till 12 o'clock. He will advise you. Also, there will be an academic from Health and Social Care. And if you need to and you want to have a phone conversation with them, you can do that as well. So just all you have to do is just press the button and give your email address and phone number, and we can get back to you this morning so that we can answer that. And please don't wait until October. We'll tell you what you need to do before that.
And we've had a couple of messages from people asking how they apply to Lincoln. So just ring our clearing hotline. That's 164 4444. 0808 164 4444. Now we're running slightly late, so Emma, I'm going to hand over to you to introduce our next star guest, Michael Ball.
Hi, so I'm going to introduce Ben Ball. So Ben is our accommodation manager. And Ben, thank you so much for your time today, because I appreciate this is probably one of your busiest weeks of the year, certainly the busiest weekend with a lot of our allocations. So tell us where you are this morning.
This morning I'm in our Signet Wharf building, the Signet Wharf accommodation development, which has 442 bedrooms, all en suite. I'm in one of the breakfast kitchen lounge areas at one of the breakfast bars, which go down really well for socializing between students. Good long space for them to be in. This particular apartment has 10 bedrooms and, as I say, all en suite and right in the heart of the campus.
Fabulous. First question is because Grace has been patiently waiting with one of her questions earlier about an email. So she submitted a question to you in the accommodation office yesterday, and she's not had an email back. Can you give her a bit of, can you give us a bit of tips on what's happening this week and over accommodation and the process and what applicants could expect, really?
Yeah, depending on the content of Grace's question, but we try to clear up everything that comes through on any particular one day. So we've got our firm applicants who received their offers yesterday, and they all have questions about the accommodation and the next steps and things like that. We also have all of the clearing applicants that we want to give information and advice to. So we've got the university website, we've got our information site of accommodation.lincoln.ac.uk and the email address of accommodation@lincoln.ac.uk. Now, when we left at sometime after 9 o'clock last night, we had about 10 emails outstanding. We came in this morning to around about 60. So there's a lot of traffic coming through, and just try and need to be patient. Now, some of the emails, depending if Grace is waiting for something that hasn't been straightforward, it might be requiring one of our managers to look at that. And of course, some of our managers are doing things like this to try and support the wider thing, but we will get through them as quickly as we possibly can. If it's, so some questions sort of have to wait for an update view to get the actual position, rather than it being a general position, because clearing applicants will be wanting to know, what do I do next when I refer myself through UCAS Track? That is really that you will then need a 24-hour period of waiting for the university to update into the accommodation system. The accommodation system will send you an email to say you can now apply for accommodation. It might be people who are asking about, I've received my accommodation offer, but actually it wasn't quite my first choice. Is there anything I can do about it? It might be about, can you clarify the funding payments? And we want to make sure that we answer each question relevant to each person's situation. So they're not just straight off. But we do, hopefully we'll be cleared down by the end of tonight.
So a very individual service that you give, which is amazing. Things are not automated particularly, are they? It's such, you really give that personal touch to our students.
Well, that's what student accommodation is about. You're going to create a whole new household, for want of looking at how we'll try and be safe within these new times. But it is about, individuals are very different. We want you all to come to university as individuals and then create our university community. And these kind of apartments that we have here are just the most perfect thing to do that in. So we even have an apartment for 23 students, but we have apartments for 2 students, 3 students, 4, and all the way up within that band. So we also have studio apartments that are studio singly. We also have studio apartments that are in apartments of other studios, studio rooms within apartments of other studios. So you don't lose the social, the interaction between people in that sense, if you prefer to still have your independent space and some social area to meet with other people.
Fabulous. So if a student had referred themselves yesterday, what sort of deadline have they got? What's the timeline for this weekend?
The university has put out a guarantee for accommodation applications, which ends, I think, midnight on the 19th of August, next Wednesday, that if you've referred yourself through UCAS and made as your firm choice and made an application for accommodation, you are guaranteed a whole style accommodation. Not necessarily your first choice and your preferred choice, because right now we've got people accepting offers which will start to fill buildings, and that not every building will become available as we go through each day going forward. But that guarantee is there if students would like to take that up.
So you've worked at the university quite a long time, like myself. At this weekend, what would be a parent's most common question, do you think, about accommodation?
When we're here, it's looking at the space of a room. It's looking at, does this fit? We will get into conversations about single beds against small double beds. We will get into, I'm definitely not having a non-ensuite room. I need an ensuite room. But that's all there on our websites and our information pages. So you can get a good range of feeling of what's there. And if there's anything you're not sure about, use the email and the links that are through our pages, and we'll try and pick up all of those questions. It is, I don't want to share with more than 4 or 5 people. I really want to share with another 20 people. That everybody's got these different tastes and likes and things like that. It might be that a building is facing the wrong way for some people, and where there's, there are a whole load of things that people will start to do. In this remote format, we would just want to try and pick up everybody's question that they would want to figure. But they're the general things. How many people share this kitchen? Is it an ensuite room? How far away? As we've said, the great majority of our accommodation is 10 to 15 minutes walk. There's a couple of different ones, but we do have some maps on the website which give you that information. So here am I sat in what we would call the centre of campus in Signet Wharf. If I were to walk off across the bridge 10 minutes, I would walk past the Alfred Tennyson building, I would walk past the science building, the new medical school, just catch a glimpse of where you are, Emma, McDonald's to my right, the Gateway new student accommodation, the Holiday Inn Express, Morrison's, and in about 10, 12 minutes, I'm at Valentine Court, which seems, you know, from here it's been maybe 15 minutes, but I've also walked over past all of those things. In 10 minutes, you're looking at the library, you're looking at the Performing Arts Centre. Everything is so close.
Fabulous.
They're the kind of things that parents want to get a feel of where this is. There are no needs to have use public transport to get into the university from our accommodation.
Absolutely. So if you've got somebody coming through this weekend, is the top tip really to sort of check out what's available and things on your website pages, which are constantly going to be updated?
Yes, make your preferred choices, make your preferred list, go on the application form. There is a range of options available. Those options will change because there are only so many rooms to any one building. And as we go forward each day, there'll be slight changes, but there could be increases to some applications as well, because people will be making different choices. And that's a bit why we're a bit busy at this time of year, because people, you know, they want to be certain, they want to be clear, and they will change, and there will be change being made available. So make your own choice list first of all. If your top choice is not there, then you've done the research to be able to understand what your third, fourth, fifth or sixth is. And we'll talk to you about the whole range, locations, services, options, and everything that we would provide to support students in their accommodation.
So 2 final questions for you, Ben, before we move on to meet with Chi-Chi. A lot of parents will be sat watching today thinking, right, okay, that's fine. We know what our choices are. We've done our research. When do we sort of have to partake with a bit of cash? So the costs and deposits and things like that. So that's one of the key questions that I know I often have on sort of days like this when we're physically full of people in this lecture theatre.
The values change, and there are options on our accommodation fees guide, which you can link off the website, tells you all of those fees. There is advance payments to make. When you get a formal offer of accommodation, you have a 5-day waiting period to make that acceptance. So anybody who received an offer yesterday has got until Monday night to make the application, make the confirmation. Some people are not there straight away. They want to check things out with mums and dads, that kind of thing. So there's a 5-day waiting period before they have to make the application. On the 5th day, actually, we send them an email and ask them if they're really certain. And then they may well have the offer withdrawn. But they've got a 5-day period to make an advance payment in the great majority of cases. There is one option where there is no advance payment, but it has proved to be a popular option, so I'm not quite sure how how available that would be.
Okay. Brilliant. So one last question. What is your most favourite thing to do in the city?
Well, I like walking around Brayford Pool. So because I'm in Signet Wharf, it backs onto Brayford Pool, and I can start off and have a walk up onto the flyover, walk around. I can even some days change the way I walk, with the direction I walk in. But then I walk to see the front of the university, which I think is a great view, which is the opposite view from where Ellie is, looking from the bank over to the university. And that's a really nice, pleasant walk, taking into all the shops and bars and restaurants that are over at the other side, and then coming back and seeing the wildlife on our side with all the ducks and geese and swans.
And what really sums up Lincoln for me, I think, is the friendliness. And I hope that's come across from Ben and Emma, and hopefully myself as well today. And I think that's why we're voted one of the friendliest city, well, the friendliest city in the UK a couple of years ago. And also 1 in 5 people in Lincoln is a student. So Ben, would you agree it's a really student orientated city, really, isn't it?
Yes, the city has grown. So I hate to, Emma said, we've been here a little while, but when I first started in Lincoln, we had 300 bedrooms. And now we're just on the edge of 4,300. And therefore the city has looked at lots of different venues. It's not just about a nightlife. You know, the restaurant quarter behind you on the other side of the bank of the Brayford Pool is a really pleasant place to go and have an evening meal, meet people. We know lots of mums and dads comes to take students out for their, sometimes is it their weekly feeding session? Not sure. But, you know, they'll do Sunday afternoons, Saturday afternoons, walk around the Brayford and the restaurant area there. There is a lot of development happened simply because of students, yes. Yeah,
it is wonderful. There's everything from Wagamama right through. But just quickly to pick up on the comments in the chat. Hi to Chimnoy, really nice to see you. Thank you very much for joining us. And Giorgio is pointing out, Ben, that the link to the Ensley website on the accommodation website isn't working. How can he check what the insurance policy covers?
Well, he could go directly to the website because it's a pretty standard. Many universities use this company for their internal thing. If it's not working, email us at accommodation.lincoln and we may just be able to check that or give him a general PDF information for that. But it might be something to do with the Ensley website as well, and lots of students getting offers of accommodation across the country.
You are the best, Ben. Thank you so much for making time to talk to me and Emma today. It's been so interesting, hasn't it, Emma?
It really has. Thank you. And you do work as a team. You're probably one of the hardest working teams in the whole university. So thank you ever so much.
Thanks for that. There are other teams who work really, really hard as well. We know that your guys are out there and the admissions team are out there. So thank you very much. I shall pass that on to the team.
Yeah, thank you. Lovely to see you. We're going to say goodbye to Ben, and Emma's going to remind me where we're going next.
We are going over to the sports centre, so on my side of the rail track, and we're going to meet Chi, who is a member of our schools and colleges officers team.
Yeah, our alumni community.
Our alumni. So, hello, Chi. Tell us where you are.
Hi Emma, hi Ellie. I'm at the University of Lincoln Sports Centre, as you can read at the back in the background. As Emma and Ellie have mentioned, I'm an alumni from the University of Lincoln. I did my undergraduate and my postgraduate studies here. I did my BA in media production. I did my MA in journalism. And during my time here at the University of Lincoln, I did spend lots of time here at the Sports Centre myself. I was a member of the University of Lincoln's Volleyball Society. I did play in the Bucks team. And we have got 170, so over 170 sports teams and societies here at the University of Lincoln. So there is.
And before we get into that, Chi, tell us a bit about the facilities of the sports centre, because we can see you're in reception. That's great, but what is there for students to do there?
So exactly. So I'm just there where you're walking. I'm at the entrance. I'm at the reception area. So just to my right, you walk in from our doors, and just outside of the building, just in front of it, we've got a lovely outdoor pitch. So you can also do any sports that you'd like out there. Not only in summer, they're also open, available in autumn and winter. And just to my left, you walk through those gates that you can see behind me, and you enter the area where you can either go to the sports halls, which you can use for many sports. So they can be transferred into football hall, they can be transferred into volleyball and basketball and badminton courts, whatever you want to really. We've got any facility here to basically offer you all the sports that are the most popular. But if you walk up the stairs, we've also got a fitness studio here at the University of Lincoln. And one of the greatest things about having a fitness studio on campus, and with saying on campus, I mean really, this sports center is only maximum 10-15 minutes walk from your accommodation, maybe even just 5 minutes if you're at the Gateway or somewhere else. So it's really central, and it's basically
I think it's probably a really good point, Chi. It's probably worth mentioning that the University of Lincoln campus is quite large, but it's right in the heart of the city of Lincoln. So I think we've said this a lot, but it's quite rare, I suppose, to find a top 20 university that's gold rated in terms of TEF, that's right in the heart of the city. So it really is the best of every world. And there's there's a good cycle hire scheme as well. So you don't even have to bring a bike. You can just hire a bike and go around the city. Is that right, Chi?
Exactly. So basically, you don't have to purchase your own bike, as you've mentioned. You can just hire a bike for an hour, half an hour, or even 2 hours or longer if you wanted to. And it's really affordable. It's really cheap. So it's much cheaper than buying yourself a new bike. And you can just drop them off at the stations that we offer just in front of certain buildings on campus. So you just drop your bike off and you just walk 30 seconds into the building. And when you come out, you can grab yourself another bike, just pay the amount that you've been using it for and just go wherever you'd like to. And one of the greatest things is we've got those stations also really close to accommodations, so you can just cycle wherever you want to. But if you'd like to, you can also cycle to a little bit outside of the city. So if you'd like some nature, we've also, although Lincoln is a really lovely city, we've also got lots of green areas just surrounding Lincoln. So on the bike, it won't be longer than 15 minutes cycling, really. And if you'd fancy a walk, that would be 30 to 40 minutes. So you can go to a lovely park with dip your feet into the lovely lakes that we've got around. And yeah, there is so much to do in Lincoln, really. I don't even know if I can.
Chi, what are your good memories, or did you enjoy being a student here?
Oh God, so I did my undergraduate and my postgraduate studies here. That there is a reason why I decided to stay long, and there's a reason why I'm still here. So I loved every second that I spent here. It's amazing. I did my journalism degree, and even like as a journalist, I never ran out of content and stories to create. So although Lincoln might not be as big as other cities, there is so much going on. So in those 4 or 5 years, I didn't even finish anything that I wanted to do here in Lincoln. So yeah, you've got to like stay long here to do everything that you'd want to. And yeah, there is something for everyone. You will never be bored, really. I can say it with all genuinity. Yeah, and there is like so many sports societies and other societies, like from Harry Potter Society to wildlife conservation, and even like sports societies such as even like snow sports. We offer snow sports societies, so you can just take a trip to somewhere else. Maybe not during a pandemic, but yeah, in usual times, we can always do so much here at the University of Lincoln. And yeah, I'm sure that our student leaders will be covering that in detail. Yeah.
Chi, thank you so much. I think you've told us a huge amount. I know that my last question, there will be some students who perhaps going through clearing or nervous about what this autumn's going to be like. Are there any top tips that you'd give to anyone who's a little bit worried about coming away to university this autumn?
I would say don't be scared, honestly. Don't be scared at all, because you won't be lonely. And just because you think you've maybe not joined the university from the beginning, you're coming for clearing, just that doesn't stop you from joining any other societies or anything that the university offers you. As a student, just make sure you take any opportunity, any services that the university offers, because we are here to ensure that you've got a great time, and anything we offer is for you and to make you enjoy your time here in Lincoln and have a special experience, really. And yeah, don't be shy. Just join a society. If you're scared of not meeting any people, joining a society is the best way possible, especially during these times maybe where you just due to the pandemic, you can't maybe socialize the way you'd like to. We still offer you virtual opportunities, and joining a society.
There will be lots going on, actually. There's going to be lots on campus that we've already talked about. So we're putting up 2 TPs.
Yeah, exactly.
As I said, we're moving towards more of an outdoor culture. So there's lots of additional catering facilities across the campus. And we are very lucky. It's such a big space. It's really good. And there's also, on the homepage of the website, you'll find a link to get ready for Lincoln, and you'll find everything you need to know about orientation. And so I suppose we better move on. We're running late. So a huge thank you to you, Chi. You're so positive, and you're always such a joy to meet. So thank you so much for making time to chat to me and Emma today.
Thank you, Ellie. Thank you, Emma. Lovely to see you both.
Lovely to see you. Thank you. No, thanks. Emma, remind me where we're going next.
So we are going to the library, which is very close to where I am, actually. So it's literally a minute's walk that way. this way, to the library, and we're going to meet Marvin at the library. So Marvin, hi.
Hi,
Hello.
Marvin.
Tell us where you are.
Welcome, guys. I'm here at the library, the University of Lincoln Library, which is an amazing place. This is literally 4 floors of award-winning, just everything. Just people are brilliant here. The staff are the friendliest you'll ever meet. And it has been one of the places, because I used to study here as a business management student, that I've basically lived here. I loved it, and it was absolutely brilliant. When it comes to the things available here, you've got your isolated spaces where you can really sink your teeth into whatever you're studying yourself. But then you've also got various rooms that are available, and ICT suites, and projector screens that are available for students to book and use. And really bring projects to life in groups. So there's so much available for students, from Macs, PCs, laptops they can borrow. And then when it comes to exam seasons, it's open 24/7.
Fabulous. So Marvin, the exam season is everybody's favourite, and of course a lot of the new students that are coming in won't have gone through that exam season, so it will be a real sort of change for them when we start university. I just my first sort of observation is that I noticed just behind you there is a yellow spot there. Now that is the campus getting ready, isn't it? So we've got some. Explain what that is, and as you walked into the library today, just explain what's on the walls or what's on the floor to ensure that we'd be safe once the students arrive here.
So there have been a numerous amount of measures put in place, such as the stickers you can see down, telling people to social distance, telling people the one-way system through the building, and kind of making sure that everyone is as safe as possible. Even behind me, having one of the Macs put down so that, people can really social distance, and really still carry on with whatever they need to do come, October time.
So I think there are one-way systems. There's additional hand sanitizer. There's lots of different things been put in place. Limits on space, and I believe that they're putting in place a sort of a queuing space outside of the library if we need it. So we will be counting and limiting access to all of those areas. In line with government guidance at the time. Is that right, Marvin? Is there anything else to add to that?
Absolutely. And on top of that, an actual cleaning regime where they'll be cleaning everything down throughout the period, and they'll be doing so to make sure that the students get everything they can still have.
Fabulous, thank you. So tell us, what we'd like to know is about some of your memories of being a student, and what's your favourite bit about being a student at Lincoln?
So one of the most amazing bits I love about this library is I'm a nocturnal person, really. I come alive at the night time, and the 24 hours made it brilliant, because although Lincoln is not at loss for its nightlife, but when it comes to the library, I used to be in here 3 a.m., 4 a.m. McDonald's is 5 minutes away, not even 5 minutes away. And so sustenance was never out of reach. And I really did, there was such a community here as well. And the support was unreal. Even when it came down to some of my friends, we spent all-nighters together here. I mean, we still talk about some of these things now, several years later. It is one of the spaces I've come to love and live, and I'm still here.
Okay, fabulous. So obviously I am a Lincoln person. I was born and bred in Lincoln, but you're not, Marvin. So tell us where you're from and why you chose Lincoln. Why was, just to reassure those people that are watching today that it's okay to join a move away from home.
Yeah. So I'm from down in near Essex, Colchester. Whoop, whoop. And yeah. So my parents had to drive me up 150 miles and drop me off, and then left me by myself. Don't know what they were thinking really at the time, but it was nerve-wracking. But the moment I met everyone here, it was amazing. And um, I'm down from I'm like half an hour in Colchester / an hour away from London, and it is a massive city which is full on. But everything you can find in London, you can pretty much find here. On top of that, you've got coast nearby, etc. But it has everything, but it also is a bit calmer. It's just got that lovely what you call it, country life, and it has so much here in Lincoln, and it kind of the package here in Lincoln is so amazing that I just couldn't pass it up really.
I mean, one of the things I really love is the castle and cathedral, and I always say it's a bit like Lord of the Rings, but or like Middle Earth. But you interviewed Wes Nelson from Love Island on Wednesday, and he said it was like Hogwarts. I mean, how come you got to interview Wes Nelson, and what would you say you learned from that, Marvin? Because that was so interesting.
I mean, when I say the opportunities here at Lincoln are endless, I got to meet a Love Islander, which is brilliant and inspirational. And he was amazing and so lovely. But he also really spoke about, what it means to, how to make friends and how you make friends for life through these kind of things. And even a Love Islander, put a gold stamp on our nights out. So that says something. But
it was a really good night out, didn't he?
and
I think he invited you on a night out when he comes up to Lincoln, didn't he? That's like
we'll show him how we do it here in Lincoln. But yeah, no, I do think the place is, there is no shortage for it. Every person, from the people that love going out to the people that love a nice, calm, amazing time, and there is just so many different experiences here as well. So yeah, there's not a lack of for want when you come to Lincoln.
That's fabulous. Is it key to sort of just let the audience know, Ellie, to keep asking us some questions on the side, to ask us the questions? If you've got any questions about sort of course content, we've got academics, so you can book a one-to-one, so you can have a phone call and actually physically speak to somebody. If you've got any other general questions, we've got our team of experts that are on hand to answer any questions before 12 o'clock today and beyond.
If you want to apply, you can call our clearing and adjustment helpline on 0808 164 4444. That's 0808 164 4444, and you'll get to speak to one of our very friendly members of the team. And I must mention, because I was so excited when we had this earlier, so we've had ducks today, we've had swans. But I understand, I don't know if I've told you this yet, Marvin, but outside of the Students' Union Tower Bar, there are otters. Did you know that?
No, that I did not, but that's amazing. I got to go and see. Yeah, the wildlife is surreal.
I'm so excited.
Look outside that window now, because you look onto the engine shed, don't you?
It's true. It's true. I can see it a bit further back there.
The engine shed is a huge venue, actually, and in normal times we have some amazing bands, comedians. I mean, it's a big capacity, but there's club night, there's quack night normally. I mean, obviously we're not planning on running those at the moment, but we'll see what happens and changing government guidance. But before we move on, Marvin, is there anything you'd say about those nights out? I know you might have been once or twice.
Once or twice. I just kind of want to say you'll meet incredible people and you will have unforgettable times. And even if you're a more calmer person and don't do the few nights back to back that I may have done or may not have done back in there, but you'll find your ilk no matter who you are, and you'll love it. You'll absolutely love it.
Thank you, Marvin. It's been a real pleasure, as usual. Thank you very much for taking the time to talk to Emma and I today. It's been really interesting. We're going to say goodbye to Marvin because we're slowly coming to the end of our time with you today. As Emma says, please, if you're watching, if you've got a question, please do ask us questions or just join in and say hi so we can say hello to you. And Emma, remind me, where are we going next?
Well, very aptly, we're going across from where Marvin is over to the Students' Union. So we're going to meet Bailey and Lucy, who are our student leaders. And they are located in the entrance of the Tower Bar. Bailey's in the Tower Bar, I can see, and Lucy's in the entrance of the Students' Union. So they are busy preparing.
Hi guys. Have you seen the otters again, Bailey?
No, I've seen them a couple of times in the last year, actually. There's a little family of them that live underneath the bridge out there that goes across the river, and they swim about in a little family, and it's the sweetest thing.
Oh God, I've never seen them. I'm going to go look for them later. But before I get all otter obsessed, Bailey, do you want to start? And then you and Lucy just tell us a little bit about yourselves and what you're doing, what the SU do, what the Students' Union does.
So the Students' Union is basically your body that represents you guys. You elect 5 student leaders every year to run your Students' Union, and myself and Lucy are 2 of those 5 student leaders. I'm Bailey. I'm the Vice President Campaigns and Environment, which means I lead on projects, like on environmental projects that you guys can get involved in. And I chair the Campaigns Network, which is where all your liberation officers sit, such as LGBT+, BAME officers, environmental officer. So yeah, you can get involved with lots and lots of stuff on campus. We do have a couple of SABs that are not here with us today. Abby is our Vice President Activities, so she runs, she helps all the societies and the sports run. She's amazing, and so if you ever get involved in a sport or society, you will definitely come across her. We also have Amina, who is our Vice President International, and she takes care of all the international students. So she is in charge of the ISA, which is our International Students Association, which all international students are automatically enrolled on. And then we have Georgia as well, who is our Vice President Education, and she it basically runs like the rep forum, course reps, school reps, who are the people that you guys talk to if you have any issues with your course, which I'm sure you won't have. But if you do have any worries, or you think something could be improved, or you really like something on your course, they're the people that you would go to. And then Lucy.
Yeah, I'm Lucy. I'm the Vice President Wellbeing Community. So I'm here to really ensure that the students feel supported with the SU and their wellbeing. So I work alongside the SU Advice Centre and beside the University Wellbeing Centre to ensure that students feel supported, and also just really help to emphasise that community aspect that we really value here at Lincoln.
And tell us a little bit, lots of people have been asking us, how do they join the clubs and societies, and maybe a little bit about what the clubs and societies are as well, and a bit about freshers too, because normally freshers are a really big deal. How's that going to be this year? Lucy, should we start with you?
Yeah, so clubs and societies, we have just under 200 clubs and societies, and they range from academic societies to non-academic societies, and sports teams, both social and competitive. To join those, usually you would be able to join at our SU reception, but obviously due to COVID, we moved all online. So you can join up online, and we're really excited because all of our sports and societies have worked in line with COVID regulations, and we'll all be holding virtual events in the first semester. So no student will miss out on that experience. Societies are incredible. They really help get over those worries that you first have when you start at university and really help you make friends. And we really want to make sure no one misses out on that.
Yeah, no, that sounds amazing. Bailey.
So we have our freshers fairs coming up. They're all online virtual fairs, which you can click through the stalls. They're really quite snazzy inventions, and they are going live on our website on the 1st of October. So you can get all the information for all the societies, all of the activities, the sports, and campaigns network groups. So yeah, they're all going up live 1st of October, and you can continue to look through those. And then we will have sessions where the presidents of the sports and societies and the officers and everyone that would hold the stalls are going to be available for you guys to message and chat with. And all that information will go up onto our website. So as long as you're keeping tuned into our website and our social media, then you will get all the information that you need.
No, that's great. And you've mentioned COVID and the changes that have occurred because of the pandemic, but normally freshers would be quite full on. The engine shed venue would be huge. It would be packed with loads of massive bands that I've never heard of. But what will that be like this year? What will it be like for students? How will they make friends and get to know people?
We're going to be holding a whole range of events, making use of our outdoor and virtual spaces, and there will be hopefully government guideline dependent some like in-person events, socially distanced, of course, but we're working on a whole program for that, which we will be announcing at some point on our website and on our social media. But we are hoping for the engine shed to be a bit of a space for students to come and work socially distanced, of course, and it just still provides students with the spaces that we have, but not quite in the same way.
That sounds so exciting. Is someone knocking down the Students' Union behind you? Oh, tell them to be quiet, Bailey. You're live to the nation. My big question, Emma and I, we're very aware that for young people coming through now, especially those coming through clearing, it can be quite a scary time. I mean, for Emma and me, this is really exciting. We're so excited about it's the best day of the year in terms of welcoming new students, knowing who our cohort's going to be. But for those potential students and their parents, it's all a bit scary. They may not have been to Lincoln. They don't know what they're letting themselves in for. It can be a bit terrifying to think about living with people you don't even know yet. What would your top tip be? What advice would you give?
So obviously loads of students are feeling that way. If you're feeling nervous about coming to Lincoln, it's normal. Like, don't worry, going to any university, you'll be concerned. So it's completely normal, but just embrace it. Like, really embrace sports and societies. If sports and societies aren't your thing, we have the campaigns network and volunteering opportunities, which are less daunting ways to get involved. Or you can work as a member of student staff and you become part of a really close-knit team at our venues. But also just really embrace where you live and your housemates, because certainly my housemates from first year, 2 of them are still my absolute best friends, and I couldn't imagine having experienced Lincoln without them.
Yeah, I would second that. I don't think people realise how crucial your housemates are, and just to throw yourself into things. The first person I ever met at university was somebody that I've lived with for the last 3 years, and next summer she's going to be a bridesmaid at my wedding. So you seriously, you don't forget those memories that you make with each other. And I'm helping to run the Students' Union with Lucy, who I also met 3 years ago at Dance Society in the first week of uni. So just throw yourself into it, as scary as that may be. I totally sympathise for you. It is a scary thing coming to university, but just get involved and you'll thrive, basically.
Ellie, I didn't know you were getting married, so massive congratulations. But
thank you.
Don't answer this if it's inappropriate, but did you meet your husband at uni then?
I did. I met him in this building, actually, in the Students' Union.
I didn't know that. Oh my gosh, I so want to know more. Oh, now just in case it's inappropriate, but it's really interesting what you say, because I'm 30 years older than you guys, and the people I met in my first week at university are still my best friends now. So the people you haven't met yet are going to be your friends for life, I suppose. And Emma, the parents are going to be nervous as well. What would your top tips for them be?
They are, yeah. I mean, we totally sympathise with the fact that parents it is going to be very daunting, and this year more than most. And we totally get that. But what I would say is there is support networks across the whole of the university. So we've got an incredible wellbeing team that can help you in that transition. So if you've got questions, worries now, get onto our questions, ask those questions now, and look for what support is available. We've got all sorts of support from the SU, whatever that might be, and our student services team as well. So whether it's accommodation, student services, wellbeing, all the SU, the students leaders, with lots of activity. They're working really hard in the Students' Union with people walking around at the moment, I can say. As a parent, I would be absolutely confident in my child coming here, and you know, they're sort of my life apart from work. So absolutely, I would feel very safe with them coming here because we've got everything covered.
And Emma, you actually created the parents' Facebook page, so I think it would be a good opportunity just to mention that.
You're absolutely right. You know, there's lots of forums that I fully understand that an 18-year-old does not want their mum asking, but that's why we created the Facebook Parents and Guardians page. So please join it now, especially if you're sort of a new parent, new to Lincoln today, and you sort of want to ask questions, but it's not very cool to do so. Have a little speak and go on to those questions now. There are parents still on there from last year before, so they can give you a whole host of, you know, personal advice. So it's really, really vital to do that.
Now we're coming to the end of our transmission, but I am going to ask Bailey and Lucy one last question in terms of why you chose Lincoln, whether or not it was a good choice for you. So should we start with Lucy and finish with Bailey?
Yep, you'll have to excuse the fact that our CEO is walking past. It really demonstrates how much of a close-knit office we are. I'd like to think highlights how we like to run the Students' Union as well.
Could have waited, couldn't he? Could have waited. He knew this was important.
But no, so Lincoln was actually my first choice of university. I studied biomedical science. And the last 3 years have just been absolutely fantastic. We have brilliant research labs, and I've just felt so supported. And Lincoln is definitely a home for me, and that was the reason I chose it. And I can see it being my home for a significant amount of time after.
Yeah, and Bailey, what about you?
So Lincoln was my first choice. I'm in an RM between two universities, and I chose Lincoln because of the reputation of its dance society, which is where I met Lucy. And yeah, I just got involved with sports, and I've competed for the uni in, I think, 4 different types of dance. One type of dance I didn't even do before uni. I competed Irish dancing, which I'd never done in my life, and I got thrown on the competition team. So that was a laugh. But yeah, Lincoln's been amazing. I studied geography. I'd pick it again if I had to make the choice again. But yeah, it doesn't really matter what type of person you are, what you want to study, what kind of extracurricular stuff you want to get involved in. Lincoln has everything. The city has everything. The uni has everything. The Students' Union have everything. It's just such a wonderful community to be part of.
You guys are so amazing. You've got so much energy. Thank you so much for joining me and Emma today. Emma and I are down to our last 4 minutes, so we'll say goodbye, Bailey and Lucy, but thank you so much for being with us. You're welcome to stay there for a bit if Darren wants to leave you in just while Emma and I say goodbye. There's lots of resources down below us, so look at the information zone, go onto Slido, chat to the staff, whether they be admissions staff or academic staff. Go onto UniBuddy and talk to our existing students and ask questions, and have a good look round. Emma, can I ask you to wrap up for us?
Yeah, I think it's worth doing your research. As Ben has sort of said, if you've got concerns about where you want to live, what the accommodation is going to be like, then please do your research, have a little look. Whilst we'll be live again tomorrow, 10 till 12, and on Sunday on campus, we will be here, and we've got the weekend to ask questions. However, it doesn't stop there. Please keep asking questions. As we develop, we've got nearly 2 months before we sort of actually receive you on campus. Please ask the questions. We've got an awful lot of developments going on in those sort of few weeks. And so please watch out on our website, watch out on our social media, watch out on our Getting Started pages, and get all the information you require to get started with us, really. And we are so excited to seeing you here.
No, and the phone number, once more for anyone needing the clearing line phone number, is 0808 164 4444. That's 0808 164 4444. And it is a really exciting place to be a student. As we've said a couple of times, the Lincoln University, or the University of Lincoln, is one of the top 20 universities in the UK. It's rated gold in the TEF, the Teaching Excellence Framework. It's very highly rated in the National Student Survey, rated 5th in the UK for local facilities, and first in the UK for friendliness. So I'm going to go to Bailey and Lucy for a final word on what you would say to anyone facing any questions or those decisions today. Bailey, to you.
Just ask away if you have any questions regarding the uni. Obviously, they've got all their platforms. If you have any questions regarding activities you can get involved in, or what Fresh is going to be like, please don't hesitate to contact us. You can go on our website, lincolnsu.com, or Facebook page, again, Lincoln Students' Union. Literally just contact us, and yeah, we really can't wait to see you.
I think that sums it up. Thank you to everyone for watching. We can't wait to meet you this autumn. And I think from us all here at Lincoln, we're going to say a really warm and friendly, massive goodbye. And thank you for your time today. And you'll meet all four of us this autumn. So we'll look forward to that. Goodbye from us.
Goodbye. Thank you ever so much.
Bye.